This is a video about the places in the book Robert, A Christmas Story, that I wrote. And what I think you need is less of my face in this video and more of the actual places. Because a lot of people asked me about the book. They asked me about images in the book that they didn't understand. Places where Robert and Michelle met, places that where they went, places where they had dinner. And so they're all actual places, and I went and took a little video, took a few pictures so that I could share with you these actual places. So here are the places from the book where I took inspiration. So this is Temple Square, and this is where Robert and Michelle meet, here at the Tabernacle. And we'll go inside there and see the actual bench where they met, where we saw this. And this is a place where they're looking at all the lights with the family at nighttime and seeing all there is to see at Temple Square. And that's the assembly hall where they see the high school choir. We'll go take a look in there. And this is all lit up. It's lit up right now. There's lights. Of course, it's not night. And this is the Mormon temple. They don't go see that. And this is the tabernacle where the sing-along takes place in the story I told you. And this is where Robert is walking. So Robert is walking right down here. Julie, do you want to walk down to row 24? This is where we actually saw it. This is my wife, Julie. And that is right where it happened. That's where Robert sits down with the Tyler family for the sing-along. And they used to have the sing-along, and the symphony was set up right on that stand, and everybody sang along. And this is where it happened, right here on this bench.
And it was decorated like this too?
Yeah, it was decorated. It was very beautiful. So this is the manger scene where Robert and Michelle stop to see the manger, and they have their discussion about the million lights. And if you could see it at nighttime, there are a million lights. But this is the manger scene they talk about.
And all went to be taxed, everyone into his own city. And Joseph also went up.
Of course, this is the biblical passage that takes place at the end of the story.
Unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child.
This is the assembly hall, and about right here is where Robert and Michelle have their encounter with the girls in the choir. They're about right here. Maybe over here by the corner, over by the Seagull Monument. Yeah, let's go over there. This is more like it. This is where Robert and Michelle have their encounter with the girls from the high school choir. This is where in my, as I'm writing the book, as I was writing it, this is where I imagine them having their encounter with the girls from the high school choir. And this is the Seagull Monument. If you want to know why there's a Seagull Monument, leave me a question in the comments, and I'll tell you about the Seagull Monument. Okay, let's go in and I'll show you where the choir was singing. This is the assembly hall where they hear the choir singing, the high school choir where Michelle had gone to high school. This is the bench where they sat on one of these benches, and they're holding these high school performances throughout Christmas, and this is December, so there will be probably a couple of choirs that will sing here tonight. And you can come here at Christmas time and hear a local high school choir sing. And this is where they hear the high school choir sing. Robert and Michelle come and sit on a bench like this and listen to them sing in their burgundy suits and champagne-colored dresses. Very lovely. It's really beautiful. So they went walking and window shopping, looking for a place for dinner down the streets, the shopping sidewalks in Salt Lake. They would have walked past ZCMI storefront on their way to Temple Square as they were window shopping in Salt Lake. It's daytime, so there's not a lot of crowds, but there will be once the lights go down. The sun goes down and the lights come up. This is where they were walking. Trolley Square. Robert and Michelle come here for dinner. After they're done at Temple Square, they come here for an Italian food dinner. This is Trolley Square. This is just the south end of it. We'll show you now inside where they went for dinner. This is the slurry bridge that they turned into a bridge entrance to Trolley Square. The structure was originally part of a mine. I have a funny story about this all by itself. Coming with a friend here, our junior high school choir sang one Christmas. His mother was afraid of heights. And she literally crawled on all fours through this bridge. But this is where Robert and Michelle came for a pasta dinner. Julie, will you grab the door? It didn't always have a door. And so this is where we would sing. I don't know if they're still doing that. At their Christmas tree. Trolley Square. 100 years ago, the city of Salt Lake had trolley cars, streetcars, like they have in San Francisco. And this was the big barn and maintenance, and this was where all of the trolley cars ended up, where they did maintenance and where they had garages and whatever they needed for their trolley cars. So it's an ancient building that's been turned into a mall. Here we are, I don't know, here we are more in the middle of Trolley Square Mall. And this is what, now it's all decked up for the holidays. So here's a mock-up of the trolley cars that used to run through the city.
I rode on these kinds of trolleys when I came here.
And this was where they came. Robert and Michelle, on their first date, they come to Old Spaghetti Factory for dinner. Here's where Robert and Michelle come for dinner, at the Old Spaghetti Factory in Trolley Square. This is where they come for their first dinner date together. This is the place. So this is the view of Salt Lake from the church where the Christmas dance was held that Robert and Michelle attended, and later the Halloween dance at the same church. The views here. And then Robert and Michelle met up after they forgave one another and went on a hike in this neighborhood near Mount Olympus. And this is where they were hiking and having the view. And then they went on their staycation. They went to the copper mine and the big tire that Michelle went in, and then they took in the views. And then Robert had to go to St. George on business. Michelle went with him, and they went to Kolob Canyon of Zion's National Park. It's a very beautiful place to visit. They went and saw all of the stuff. are the great views in Zion's. And Michelle lived in a house in a neighborhood in Salt Lake much like this. So I'm just doing this because people who have read the book have asked me, what are the images of the book? What were they seeing? What was it like? And this is it. Hope you've enjoyed it.